to the Prime Minister shortly. Let's go live to Canberra now to Dr. Fiona Martin. She's a Liberal MP. She joins us live. Dr. Fiona Martin, thanks so much for your time. First of all, can I ask you about your colleague, Nicole Flint? She gave this impassioned speech in the Parliament last night, and I feel like she's been waiting to give it for a long time.
Yeah, she did. She gave a very passionate, heartfelt speech yesterday, and she has obviously gone through what has been a very aggressive campaign at the last election, which has had a negative impact on her. But this is not just an isolated issue. This is an issue that is affecting all women across the nation. So I commend Nicole for speaking up and being brave to talk about this issue in the House.
She was really annoyed about the partisan nature of the debate at the moment around the protection of women. Do you share the same frustration?
I think the focus was that, this is not just an issue for one side of politics. This is an issue not even just for Parliament House. This is an issue for our nation. And that we do need to show respect for women, particularly women running in federal politics.
What more should Labor have done when it came to the treatment of Nicole Flint, do you think?
Well, I think it's very important that we respect each other. I mean, obviously politics is combative in the sense that we're debating all the time, but during an election, we should be, be respectful of each other at the polling booths. I mean, that's incredibly important, particularly if we want to attract more women into federal parliament. And certainly that was a motivating reason why I put my hand up and I ran, because I felt that we needed to see more women in federal politics.
Yeah, Fiona, politics is a blood sport. It's been like that for so long. You also contested a marginal seat. Did you feel or hear or experience any of the same treatment?
Truth be told, yes, I did. On a dual booth, I did experience what I would describe as quite aggressive behaviour at the booth down in Ashfield, and I was affected by that at the time. I think that it was distressing in the sense that I didn't expect to be physically pushed, and I certainly didn't expect to have someone try and grab a cork flute of me
You were
out of my
physically
hand.
pushed?
Yeah.
By whom?
By a Get Up campaigner.
And did they apologise? What was their excuse? I mean, is this just all meant to be the rough and tumble of politics?
There was no apology, not at all. No, this is what went on at a booth. Yeah.
Well, let's hope it changes for the next election. I've got to say, I'm not that confident it will, but we've still got a year or so to go, I guess. Let's talk about consent in schools, because this is all part of this debate at the moment. You said it needs to be taught in schools. You're renewing this push to get it done. How young is too young?
Well, this is about children across, different stages of development, and it starts from a very young age. As soon as children have the language skills, they should be taught protective behaviours, and that's teaching children about personal safety skills and body awareness. And this is incredibly important. These should be taught in preschools, and it should be a collaborative approach where parents and teachers, preschool teachers, work together to increase children's personal safety skills. It is an important part of their development and setting them up to be protected against predators.
Look, has there been a bit of a shift within your side of politics? I mean, teaching consent and respect for women is different to sex education. And I know there was some on your side that were deeply uncomfortable with the Victorian same-sex safe schools program, I should say. So is there now a realisation that that kind of thing, even if parents and people of an older generation are uncomfortable, that it does need to be taught at a younger age?
Well, when we talk about consent and sex education, the reality is children are going to learn it from their peers if they don't learn it from their parents and teachers. Statistics tell us that, children are, engaging in sexual behaviour, from 15 years and up. So we need to be having these conversations. This is about having a conversation and teaching our children so that they can develop and have healthy relationships. Every parent wants their child to develop into a healthy adult and to have healthy relationships.
Is there a reluctance among your colleagues, though, to teach sex education earlier? I mean, yesterday we heard from Tanya Plibersek young men are watching porn at the age of 10, research shows. So do we need sex education that young?
Well, this is about teaching them the skills that they need. This is a health issue as well, obviously, and it's about protecting children. I think this is ultimately a decision around, health, and I think that, children need to learn about sex education when they start high school. They absolutely should be taught from year 7 up, because the reality is in a few years' time, they will be engaging in that kind of behaviour. They'll be having those conversations with their peers if they're not having those conversations with their parents and teachers beforehand. We want our children to be safe. Every parent wants their child to be safe. So we've got to start these conversations with them at an age where they, and in an age-appropriate, developmentally appropriate way, so that they can understand and be aware. I also think it's incredibly important for young women particularly to understand issues like coercive control.
Dr. Fiona Martin, is there a resistance within your own government to push this forward, or is this a whole of government push?
This is definitely a health issue, and I think the vast majority of my colleagues would be supportive in making sure that children are equipped to deal with situations that they may be presented with, be that on the playground or outside of school. This is about children's safety.
All right, just one last thing. I want to make sure that you're not quitting politics before the next election. You're going to hang around and hope for a better future and no pushing on the polling booths?
No, I have all intentions of running for Reid, have been working very hard for my constituents in Reid, and I really enjoy being a member for Reid, so you'll be seeing me down at the next election at the polling booth, working very hard. And you saw the march, we all saw the March for Justice rally this week right around the country. Did you attend? Well, ever since, as I said before, one of the motivating reasons for me being wanting to be here in Parliament House was to see more women represented here in Parliament. And so I said it in my first speech, how important it is for women to be represented, and I've been advocating for women on issues, particularly issues to do with health and safety ever since. So my approach is that I didn't come to Canberra, I didn't get elected into federal parliament to protest, I came here to legislate, I came here to advocate, and I came here to change policies to ensure and to reduce violence against women and children. And do you have the support of your colleagues? Do you find it a safe workplace in Parliament House? I think the culture of Parliament House is an environment that needs to be reformed, there's no doubt about it, and I commend the Prime Minister for his efforts in putting forward an independent inquiry led by Kate Jenkins, the Sex Discrimination Commissioner. I think that report is very important to the future of Parliament and the culture of Parliament. That report will be a comprehensive investigation into former research, interviewing former and current staffers and MPs and senators, and I understand that a report which will be made public will be available at the end of this year. All right, Fiona Martin, thanks so much for your time.